Hi, I'm Angel with fleecefun.com. Today we're going to make a really cute Christmas stocking. For this pattern, you will need the following. You'll need the free PDF pattern that's available on fleecefun.com. Go to fleecefun.com, find the holiday patterns, find the stocking pattern, and download it and print it up. You'll also need to assemble it. Assembly instructions can be found on fleecefun.com and on fleecefun.com's channel. This stocking actually works with several different fabrics. If you're going to do the easy pattern or the easy way to make the stocking, I recommend that you use felt or fleece. However, if you want to use cotton, I'm going to show you how to do that one. It's a few more steps just to finish it a little nicer, but it also looks great. You'll need to refer to your pattern to decide the proper yardage of fabric that you'll need. You'll also need scissors, thread, sewing machine. Alright, once you have all those things, it's time to get started. We're going to start with the basic stocking, okay? And that's made out of felt or fleece. So no lining, there are certain edges you don't have to finish. And then I'm going to explain how to make the more advanced stocking, which has a lining and is a little more finished and a little more nice. Alright, so for the basic stocking, all you're going to need is you're going to cut out 2 of the stocking pieces, and then you'll also cut out 2 of the cuff piece. Time to start sewing. So placing right sides together and using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, you're going to start at the top point of one stocking and go all the way around to the other top, leaving the very top open, of course. Now, if you are sewing the curly-toed stocking, just take your care and time on that curly toe. It looks really cute when it's done. You just need to make sure that you have a very clean edge as you sew right there. Okay, then you're going to turn it right side out. With the curly-toed stocking, you might want a crochet hook or the rubber end of a pencil to push out that end really nicely and just kind of work with it, and you can push out that toe and help it form. Also, you might want a little batting just to help it stick out a little bit more, but that's a personal preference. Alright, now it's time to add the trim. Now we're not going to finish the edges of the trim because it's fleece and it's not necessary, but we will on the advanced stocking. So just for the trim on the basic stocking, all you're going to do is you're going to take the 2 ends, right sides together, sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Then you're going to turn it so right side's out, touching the wrong inside of the stocking. You're going to sew all the way around using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, flip it out, and there you have it. Really easy. Okay, that's the basic stocking, but let's do a little more advanced stocking. The basic stocking is good for gifts or if you want to make a lot of stockings in a hurry, but this other one is more heirloom quality. It's something that you can use year to year. For the advanced version of the stocking, you're going to need to take a moment to design your stocking. So you're going to need to decide if you're going to have applique and what you're going to do. So just take the pattern pieces and lay them out and see how you would like them to be. We're going to make a lining to go with the stocking. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut out 4 of the stocking piece, and you can mix and match fabrics. You can have a different lining fabric if you want. Completely up to you. You get to design that part. Now, if you're making the curly-toed stocking, I recommend that you just do the regular stocking for the lining, as you don't want to have to deal with the curly toe part. So what you're going to do is you're going to make the curly toe, you're going to cut out 2 of that one, and you're going to cut out 2 of the regular stocking. Okay, if you're making the curly-toed one. So regular stocking for the lining, curly toe for the outside. If you're doing the regular stocking, it's going to be 4 of the regular stocking. Okay? Now, for the cuff or trim part, you're going to cut out 4 of those. So again, decide which you want on the lining, which you're not really going to see, and what you're going to want to be showing on the outside. For the applique, you're going to need to put the iron-on adhesive onto the fabric before you cut it out. It's easier to do it this way. So first you're going to iron on the iron-on adhesive using the instructions on whatever adhesive you buy. You're going to make sure that that adhesive goes on the wrong side of the fabric. Once you've done that, you're going to remove the paper. You're going to cut out the heel and the toe. Make sure that the heel and the toe are facing the direction your stocking is going to be facing if you're only going to be adding it to one side. Once you've cut out those pieces, iron them onto the stocking. And just to make it look nice, you can just leave it with the raw edge, but I like to finish that edge off on the applique. So what you're going to do is you can either just sew ribbon on using a zigzag stitch, or a satin stitch along the edge works well too. We're going to start with the stocking pieces, and using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, you're going to take them right sides together and sew all the way around, leaving the top open on both pieces. Doesn't matter if it's the lining or not, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to trim the toe and slip tiny slits along the curves just to help it with its shape, taking care not to cut through the seam you just sewed. Then you're going to take the exterior and you're going to flip that right side out, but you're going to leave the lining as it is with right sides together. If you're making the curly-toed stocking, you might want to stuff a little batting in there at this time just to make it a little more full or to stick out a little bit more. Or if you want it kind of flat, that's fine, just leave it. Make sure that it's turned out all the way, that you've poked out the seams and it looks really nice. Then you're going to take your lining and you're going to slide it into your stocking, and just take a little care and line it up and make sure that it looks nice, and stuff it out and just, fill it out. The top should line up. All right, then you're going to take that stocking, set it aside. We're going to work on the trim. Now, if you're doing the zigzag trim or just the straight regular trim, the process is the same. With right sides together, you're going to sew the sides of the cuff using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. You're going to do that also with the lining, and it doesn't matter which cuff, it's the same process. Then with right sides together, you're going to place the cuff and the lining together, and you're going to sew the bottoms together using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. You're going to trim the points and flip it right side out. Now the bottom of the cuff is the triangles on the elf pattern, on the elf cuff pattern. On the basic, the bottom is smaller than the top. Now it's time to bring everything together. So taking your stocking, you're going to take the trim or cuff and you're going to put it inside. So the part that you want outside is going to be touching the inside lining of the stocking. You can see what I'm talking about in the pattern example. You're going to pin it all the way around. Now if you want to add a hanger to the stocking, do so at this time. I just like to use a little piece of ribbon. So take a ribbon about 3 to 4 inches long, fold it in half, put it in the back, facing down into the stocking, in between the cuff and the stocking. You can see what I'm talking about in the pattern example. Place it there. All right, now you're going to sew through all those layers all the way around using a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch seam allowance, whatever makes you more comfortable. Sew all the way around. Then you're going to take the cuff, turn it right side out. See what I'm talking about in the pattern example. And there you have it, a really cute stocking that will last you for years. It makes a great gift. It's a great holiday wrap if you want to stick things in there, or great decorations as well. For more great patterns and tutorials, you can visit my website, fleecefun.com. We also have really cute Santa hats, sizes baby to adult, so everyone can get in the Christmas spirit. We also have a really cute Christmas tree pillow in different shapes and sizes that will look amazing on your couch. Have a great day, and remember, velvet is pretentious, fleece is fun.